Hello! Welcome back to another episode of Augury House Radio Show. My name is Lilith. I'm the Augury of Chaos. Today, we're gonna watch episode 12. This episode is about a modular synthesis musician, Joshua Limanjaya Lim. He's also a member of Augury House. Our hosts today are Carissa Chu and Kevin Yatsu. And they talk about Joshua's inspiration as well as his upbringing and how he uses experience to create beautiful artwork. I hope you enjoy it. Bye.
What's up? I'm Kevin and we're here with Joshua, aka Limanjaya, and we're going to just be kind of chilling, hanging out. We have like a lot of cameras in the room. We got some canned fog for when we need it. Just kind of bring some, bring some atmosphere into the room. So this will always kind of be around if we need a shot of that. But yeah, Joshua is super cool. He's a modular synthesizer musician, but doing a lot of other things as well. And we met at Flower Factory, just kind of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like we met on a dance floor.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, and it was cool because like we went on a whim too. Like we were planning on it.
Yeah.
Really?
I was like eating pizza with my friends, and like we just like saw this thing. Like, hey,
yeah.
Let's go to Flower Factory.
What?
And then we were on the dance floor, and I ran into you guys. And
Oh,
I remember so vividly actually, because I remember Carissa. I was wearing like my green flower sweater.
Yeah.
And Carissa like taps my shoulder, and she's like, "Hey, are you an artist?" Because she was like,
right.
I guess I just like had that vibe.
Yeah.
And then that's how we started talking and dancing, and here we are.
Oh my god.
It's been a minute though.
It has been.
I'm so happy to have you both in my space.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying seeing like all of your shows from like the bars, and then you've been doing some like outdoor ones. You've been going up to Seattle too.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot. I mean, like I just love playing live. Any chance I get.
Right.
So I'll play any gig in any venue, anywhere. Like so I've been going back and forth between Seattle and Portland these last few weeks. I had 4 different shows. This whole year I've just been playing a bunch of different shows. But played in parks, played in bars, played in houses, played art galleries.
Right.
Just a bunch of different shit. Yeah.
Right. Do you have any highlights? My personal highlight was that release party. That was crazy.
Thank you for
saying. It was like the sunset coming in.
Yeah.
It was like the vibes were just right too.
Thank you.
It was so much fun.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That was for sure my highlight. Like not only like show highlight, but that's just like in general life highlight.
Right.
Yeah. That night meant a lot.
It was so fun. It was fun.
Cool to like release the album there.
Yeah.
And to have so many people from like different facets of Portland life were there. It was really special. It was really special.
Right, yeah. And then like the red lights in the room.
The red light's been my vibe. I mean, just like my apartment, like when I was living there all the time, just always had the red.
Right.
There's something about the red lighting. There's something about it that I just like.
I feel like I used to do it a lot too. It's like my eyes kind of adjust a little easier.
Yeah.
It's like
totally.
Yeah. It feels just like
it's
you're in the
calm.
night. Yeah, it's like cave vibes.
Yeah. Cave vibes. Yeah. Well, it's like very calming and warm. But there's also something just like a little bit sinister about it.
Right.
Oh, just that
cozy.
like dichotomy, like duality of like fucking calm, cozy, and evil. It's just,
well, especially when it like comes out of like the bottom of the door, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, something's going on in there.
Exactly. Or it's cool too, like, even when you're in this room, like at night I'll have the red light on. And like if you're like looking at it from outside, it's just like this red glow.
Yeah.
It's cool, man.
People know you're up to something.
Yeah, people know off to no good.
Right. Wait, so like how would you describe like the music you do? Like
that's a great question. I don't know. I do a lot of different things. I think that's probably why it's hard to like whittle it down to like one single thing. That's why I usually just tell people I'm a modular synthesist or modular synth producer or whatever. Because like at times I do ambient music, which I haven't done in a bit. I'm starting to get back into the swing of doing ambient stuff, but like beats are where my heart is at. I have a hip hop production background, and so like hip hop, lo-fi hip hop, house music, just a lot of different beat oriented, just beat scene type stuff. So yeah, I do a lot of different things.
Right.
A lot of different things.
And you've been doing it for a while too, right? Weren't you doing it in like high school?
Yeah.
High school years?
Let me think. What year did I start? I was 15 when I started producing music.
Oh, okay.
And I'm 27 now. So it's
Oh,
been
okay.
it's
A
been
little
solid
over
12
a decade,
years.
yeah,
A little
yeah.
over a decade. It's funny like thinking about a friend the other day asked me like how I started to make music, and I remember being 15 and hearing the Linkin Park Jay-Z record.
Oh, yeah. The one with like the red cover, gray background one? Was that the...
I don't know. But like they did like a collab album.
Right, yeah.
It was like a mashup album of like Linkin Park and Jay-Z's Black Album.
Oh.
And so it was like Jay-Z like rapping over like Linkin Park instrumentals, basically. Anyways, that album, thread to now, like that's the one that like made me want to start making music.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, wow. Anyways.
So wait, so you, like, how would you feel you've grown from when you were 15 to now? Like your handle over, or just like how your creation process might have evolved? Okay,
that's a cool question. I like that. Nice. Because specifically about like that Jay-Z Linkin Park record, it's kind of this light bulb moment of like, wait, you could just take two different songs and put them together and like make something new. Like, that's really cool. So for a while, I was just doing that. I was just like grabbing like an instrumental from one song, an acapella from another, like putting them together, and just like making remixes and mashups and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then after a while, it was just like I got bored of like pulling these other beats, and I wanted to start making my own. And then so that's how that thread started. And I got into music production. I was just doing it on the computer for a while, as everyone starts,
Right.
Got the dog, got a little MIDI keyboard, and I was just figuring it out, doing my thing, just trying to make hip-hop beats because that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
Again, like that Jay-Z Linkin Park record really like introduced me to, not introduced me, but I think it made me get into hip hop a lot more, and then just by proximity of doing mashups, like it for some reason it always just seemed easier to do like hip hop mashups because you don't have to worry so much about pitch or melody. It's mostly about just cadence and rhythm. And I was a drummer growing up too, so like rhythm was way more my game.
Yeah. I was percussion.
Yeah, what's your that's right.
Yeah.
What was like your primary?
I was like classical percussion, so I did like a lot of marimba.
Did you ever do four mallet marimba?
Yeah, I do like the claw. Do you do four mallet?
I used to back in college.
What was your grip? Did you have the one coming out the pinky side, kind of like that, or did you cross them? Were they crossing?
I did the cross one.
Okay, I did too. Yeah, I did like the claw.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh my god.
Man, nothing feels cooler than like doing forehand.
Right. Yeah.
Marimba.
Yo, I do have the xylophone.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's like a little 3.5 octave.
Yeah, gotta bring that shit over.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, I want to sample more instruments, more like real instruments. Yeah. I thought about getting marimba.
Vibraphone would be cool though.
In here, vibraphone. Which one's more expensive?
Marimba.
Really?
I think so. If you want like the 5 octave.
I would want a 5 octave.
Yeah.
But vibraphone has like the motor and.
Right, and then you can get like the violin bow and like make him sing. It's so fun. I love the vibraphone.
The bowed vibraphone.
Yeah. I think they're like 3,000. So it's like a nice synth.
Well,
grandmother or something.
Yeah. Another
the
thought for another time. Yeah. Right, I was telling you how.
yeah, percussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I was doing music production, and then at a certain point, kind of like what we're saying now, like I wanted to use like a real instrument.
Yeah.
And I didn't have like mics or like anything to like record. I didn't play guitar, and I guess the rabbit hole just like drew me to synthesizers. And so I started doing all this research, and I bought I have it actually.
Got some goodies?
It's like in my closet right now, but.
Oh, okay. We put a bunch of junk. Sorry.
No, it's good. So this is the very first synth I ever.
Is that a microbrew?
It's a microbrew.
Oh, it's a microbrew.
Yeah.
Sick. Nice.
It's funny, I took all the knobs off because when I was moving to Portland, something like got on it, and like now the knobs are all like weirdly sticky. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
It works.
But yeah, this is my very first synth. And it has this little patch bay.
Oh.
And so this is kind of what introduced me to the concept of modular synthesis. Because it was cool to have a hardware synthesizer.
Yeah.
But man, the first time I like plugged a cable into one of these jacks, something in my brain just clicked. I'm like, this is the way like you're supposed to be making music. Like, plugging wires.
Right.
Anyways, so this naturally led me down the path of modular. And then, so I graduated high school. My uncle gave me some money as a graduation gift. And he's like, you gotta save this, use it for college, use it for books. I didn't do any of that. I used it to start my first modular synth. I was living up in Seattle. I actually drove down to control voltage.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, you came all the way.
Yeah, because at the time there wasn't any synth shop in Seattle.
Right. Okay.
Now there's Patchworks, but back then this was like 2014. Yeah, this is 2014.
Okay.
Patchworks didn't exist yet, and because I was like new to modular, it was like my first time exploring that. I didn't do a whole ton of research, to be honest. I just like watched a bunch of like modular synth YouTube videos of like people like performing. Like I didn't do very much research into how any of this actually worked. I just knew I wanted to do it.
Right.
So I was like, I'll go down to this place called Control Voltage that I found online through Google or whatever. I was like, I'll get like the in-person expertise. I'll have like someone like come and explain it to me, like how to get started. So yeah, I drove down here with the money my uncle gave me, and I just bought like a really small case. The guy, I believe, it was Jason who helped me. I think he still works there actually. He might be the owner.
Oh.
Anyways, he helped me like get started. He helped me pick my first oscillator, my first sequencer, my first filter.
Right.
It's like kind of just like helped me build my first modular, and then oh man, I remember getting home and just like the act of like putting the thing together. Just like, oh man, something in my brain just clicked and it's like, this is it. Right. It was a very long learning process. I was kind of doing, for a while, I was kind of doing modular like on the side. Right. While still doing production in the DAW and still doing my performances with like laptop and MIDI controllers. And all the while, modular was kind of being learned in the background. And then it wasn't until maybe 2018 is when I kind of just abandoned the DAW altogether and just started using just modular. Because like the more I learned it, the more I realized like it just made way more sense for my brain.
Sure. Yeah.
Like it's very chaotic, but there's something about the chaos that I really click with. And ultimately what I was finding about the DAW is that when you're doing something on a computer, you have infinite options.
Yeah, too many almost.
How do you make too many? How do you make a fucking decision?
Right.
And so I loved modular because it's like, okay, you have this size box, you have these modules with these functions, and like those are your options. Right. And so it's very limited in that way, and that forces your hand into it forces you to just problem solve.
Right.
Like, okay, I want to get this sound. How do I like configure these modules? How do I patch it together to like accomplish that? And it gives you very clear limitations, and that just like stretches you creatively. It forces you to explore new territory. So it's limited, but at the same time, because it's modular, it's also infinite.
Right.
You know,
Right.
because I don't know, just like mathematically, if you just thought about the amount of inputs and outputs that are modular, like how many different combinations exist?
Right. Right. Wait, so when did you add the sampler into the modular? Because like whenever I hear modular music, it's usually like beat boops, you know, like oscillator sort of things. But it's like you were probably like the first artist I've heard that use like samples within their modular setup.
Yeah.
So when did that come into play?
It's a great question. Well, sampling has always been like, because like I said, I was producing hip hop for a while, and like I started doing mashups, which making a mashup is essentially sampling.
Right.
And then of course, like by like learning hip hop production, naturally I learned about sampling and all those different concepts and how all that stuff works. And so that's always kind of been in my musical DNA is sampling. And it's funny too, like we were saying earlier, I'm much more rhythm based, like my thinking.
Right.
And like I can write a melody, I can write a chord progression. Oh, but man, it just like I can, but like I can't really, you know. And oftentimes it's like difficult for me to like come up with melodies and progressions and all that. So I really like sampling because it's not an act of like creation; it's an act of curation,
Right.
which I really fuck with. I like really like that. I really just like, just like listening to the sound and like judging it on its merits and just like putting it in new contexts is super fun to me. So all that to say, I've always wanted to like just like primarily be a sample based person. And so with the modular, I want to say not super long ago, like maybe only a few years ago. I'm gonna say 4 years ago. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't know if that's true, but 4 years ago. Like samplers in modular just kind of started being a thing because as Eurorack was gaining popularity, people were innovating more and more, so it was inevitable that someone was gonna like introduce a sampler on the market.
Right.
And so I got, actually, stand up, I'll show you.
Yeah, let's see it.
I know that probably fucks with your camera setup.
Oh, no, because we still got this one.
So I got this guy, the Qubit Electronics Nebulae.
Okay.
It's a granular sampler.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
it's geared
I love
towards
that.
ambient music.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. Because that for a while, when I got into modular, I wasn't
Yeah.
making beats. I was like making bleep bloop ambient music, which is
Right.
great. I love it.
Yeah,
And I still do.
It's so fun. It's so fun.
But like that's what I was doing, and so I got this because it's a granular sampler, so it's great for ambient music, great for generative music. And then I also teach private lessons for modular, and I have one student who's based out of Wyoming, and he got the squid, which is this guy here, the squid sample.
Oh, I've heard of that one, yeah.
And it's funny because it's like the funny thing about like teaching modular is you don't always have like the same gear as your student has, just naturally. And that's the beautiful thing about modular is like everyone kind of has their own instrument, their own configuration.
Very unique. Yeah.
But at the same time, like sometimes it's nice to like have like similar gear as like someone that you're teaching. And I kind of say that as an excuse. Like I had my eye on this module because I was thinking of like how do I get drums in my rig.
Right.
So my student had it. My student bought it, and I was like, oh well, if he has it, then like I can just buy it, and then we can use that for lessons.
Right.
And so I got it, and between having those two samplers, it really just like unlocked a lot of like possibility like for what I could do within the modular. And fast forwarding a little bit, it was last November, my friend Brian asked me to play his birthday party. It was a birthday party at a roller rink.
Oh,
And
wow.
he asked if I wanted to play.
Okay.
And I was starting to get a little more into the club scene, going dancing, and like all that stuff. And I was like really starting to fuck with like DJs and just that energy, that vibe. And so I wanted to like do something dancier, and I was thinking about like the intellectual exercise of like turning my modular into a DJ controller. Because I have samplers, right?
Okay,
I could load samples and I could load songs into this thing. So
Right.
it's like theoretically you could DJ with it.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to figure out like how I could make that happen. And so I was, I started patching this last November. This has all been patched up for almost a year. And so I started working on this DJ set. And then at the time, I was like recently divorced. And so I was listening to a lot of Frank Ocean.
Right.
Who also is just like one of my favorite artists.
Oh,
but
so good.
especially like post-divorce, like Frank Ocean was like endless and blonde. I was just listening to continuously. Sad boy hours,
Right.
And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna, for my friend's birthday party, I'm gonna put together a Frank Ocean DJ set on my modular.
What?
And yeah, through that process of like loading Frank songs into here, mangling them, chopping them up, resequencing them, and then I started adding drums, and then through the process I was like selecting other samples. It just kind of naturally blossomed into the album and what I'm doing today, with like sample-based production in the modular.
Wow.
And then the birthday party ended up getting canceled. It never happened. But I'd already started working on this.
Yeah.
So it kind of like it removed the deadline from it, and then just gave me room to just like explore this setup and explore that process a little more and like figure out like the right workflow for it. And that just kind of naturally became the album.
Okay.
And
Jeez.
the style and like the sample-based kind of stuff that I'm doing now.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is so fun.
That was a really long-winded answer.
Oh no worries
Okay,
at all.
cool.
No worries. Oh, Carissa, did you want to swap at a point?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm fine with whatever.
Alright, we'll tag team.
Yeah. Thanks for the questions, Kevin.
Oh yeah, of course. And thank you for your incredible answers.
I'm gonna get my Red Bull.
Here's Carissa.
Yes, hello.
We are in an intermission.
Okay. Alright.
I love this
Tag
camera.
team.
Red Bull.
Red Bull and Red
Cheers.
Bull. Cheers. Yeah. What? Okay. You want some fog? I'm gonna do some fog.
Oh, do the fob, yeah.
Wait.
You can just spray that, indiscriminately.
As if that will work.
Oh, it's
Okay.
working.
Alright, so.
Hey, Carissa.
Hi, Joshua.
So good to see you.
So good to see you too.
Wow.
So tell us about your shirt. It's really dope.
Thank you. This is a shirt my grandmother's sister made in China.
Ooh.
And a few years ago, she sent it over to us for Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year. She sent one to me and all my siblings.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it's like a real like silk shirt from China.
Nice.
And yeah, recently I've just been like more inspired to just like, why can't you just like wear just like your traditional brown people shit like just like normally throughout the day?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel very powerful in this shirt.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, that's actually some questions part of the question that I want to ask you. So who is Limanjaya? Or Joshua Lim, or are they separate? Are they two different characters?
No, they're the same.
Okay.
And I think that's why I really fuck with it. Long ago, I was choosing my artist name. I was about to release my first song, and I was like, what do I release this under? And I had so many different ideas and so many different things I was working through. But I figured to just use my name would be the best route, because no matter what I do, if I'm doing hip-hop production, or if I'm doing an ambient modular piece, or if I'm doing a noise record, or whatever, I feel good about releasing all of that under my name, because it's just my name. And if I'm creating it, then it's coming out of me and my experiences, and so it just made sense to just use my name.
Yeah.
And then also too is a bit of reclaiming, white people. Wait, it's context. So I immigrated.
Right.
My family immigrated from Indonesia in '98, and our original last name was Limanjaya. And when we moved to the States, the government changed it to Lim, because it's shorter, easier to say, whatever.
Right.
So we lost the name Limanjaya, and so we were all Lim. And then, so that's part of it too, was when I was coming with my artist name, I wanted to reclaim that original name, the thing that was stripped from my family.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, I was getting my citizenship as well, and they gave me the opportunity when I got my citizenship. I could have reverted my name back. But I didn't want to have a different last name from the rest of my family, because no one else did that.
Yeah.
So I made it my middle name.
Oh.
Because I didn't have a middle name.
Cool.
Because Indonesian people don't do middle names.
Yeah.
Do most Asian cultures do middle names?
No.
No, we don't really do middle
No,
names.
I mean ancient people probably do that.
Yeah.
They call themselves Saint something.
Yeah.
They're that's your artist name basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, their middle name is their artist name. Yeah.
Interesting.
Not really in the middle.
Yeah.
It's they go by many names.
Yeah.
At least Chinese. I know for a fact. Yeah. But that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I understand that. Yeah.
And so I made it my middle name. So my full name is Joshua Limanjaya Lim. And so then it was cool, because then my artist name actually is just my fucking name.
Oh wow.
And so it's however I change, or whatever style of music, or however just my identity changes and develops over the years, it's the artist name Limanjaya will always work, and it will always feel right, because it's just me.
Yeah. And when did that happen? When you got your citizenship?
It was probably 20 or 21.
Oh wow.
When I was doing that. Yeah,
Right.
that makes sense.
So it's a well thought out.
I don't know if it was that well thought out, honestly. I feel a lot of things in my life, the meaning kind of comes after the fact.
Right. You just do it first.
Yeah, I think there's just something in my intuition that just drives me to do these things, and then afterwards, I unpack the significance of it and the meaning.
Yeah. Does that also apply to your work in progress? Where did you get your inspiration? Do you plan first, or do you just feel it out in the first place?
I mean, I think there's always an inherent level of pre-planning, because it's very often you come to the table because you have an idea.
Yeah.
Not all the time, actually. That's another beautiful thing about modular is it really lends itself to just kind of coming to the table with no preconceived notions, and then just exploring and making music that way. So I guess a little bit of both, now that I say that, because I was just describing to Kevin about making this album and how it started. The album became what it was because I had a plan to do a DJ set, and then it just naturally transformed into something else. But there was an initial plan. But then other times I'll just come to a blank modular, a blank canvas, and I'll just okay, what's gonna happen?
Yeah. Do you want to show us your canvas?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Do I hear something?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny because I'm doing another podcast interview tomorrow.
Nice.
And part of that, like playing a set, playing some music. And I was trying to think about what I wanted to play. I didn't want to play just songs off the album, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what this patch has been doing. I've just been using it to play the album, which I've been having such a fucking blast doing. But like, I figured like for like a podcast, like it might be better to just like throw something else in the mix. Mm-hmm. And what's nice about this rig and the way it's like set up and patched is because it's all sample based. Without unpatching it, I can still make new music. All I have to do is just put different samples in it, right? Yeah. And then like, you make sure to program like different drum beats and whatever, but like I can make music. You make new music using this existing patch. Or another nice thing about doing sampled modular music is you can kind of like build up a repertoire of different samples or different pieces of music, and you can always like play them again because it's saved to a thumb drive. These different samples, and like the context in which you're playing those samples might be different. Like the patch setup might be different, or the way you sequence them or arrange them might be different. But at the end of the day, like it's still those same sounds, those same samples. So I thought I would like unearth like an older piece that I had written. A lot of, the whole album, the Untitled 2023, kind of accidentally and organically like became my divorce album, but like recontextualizing that and like repackaging like that trauma, but then putting it in like a really like fun, dancey context, which for me just felt extremely cathartic and very healing in a lot of ways. And so I really love this body of work because I feel like it really just like truly shows like where I am in life right now, like so authentically, and it feels really right. And so I really like that marker of personal progress. And so for the thinking about what I was going to play tomorrow, I thought it'd be really cool to unearth a piece that I had recorded, samples I had recorded, like immediately after I'd gotten divorced, like literally like, we had the divorce conversation on a Thursday, and I was playing a gig the next day in Seattle. Wow. And so the next morning, I had like written this piece that I'm going to show you.
It has blood on it.
But no, I really like the piece. It's like it's so beautiful, and like it's. I'll play it. You'll hear it. But anyways, all that to say, I tried to like take this patch that I've been using to play the album, and then try to make this old piece of music work within this framework, which has been a really fun like intellectual exercise. Anyways, I should just play it.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been talking a lot. Oh, that's my laptop. Just playing music on Spotify. Okay. Make sure. Sick. Okay.
yourself. Love. Beauty. Your passion. Learn how to love yourself. Love. Beauty. Your passion. Learn how to love yourself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sounds like an older ambient piece from before I started doing like the stuff I'm doing now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I really like your music, and I'm not just saying that because, I'm here to interview you. We genuinely do. We listen to it so many times.
Oh, thank you.
And Kevin knows the lyrics.
Yeah. I watched back some of the videos for the show. I see back there still.
Yeah. No, because it's, and I really like the ambient music that you make. I feel like sometimes in live situation, I don't know, I haven't been to enough of your live. I like the dancey, clubbing one, but also the ethereal, something that you can hear from a museum. It's just so artsy. The really artistic, I don't know how to describe it. It's that part is so nice.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been doing the hip hop house stuff a lot, and I'm starting to get back into the swing of doing ambient stuff.
Yeah.
Because I love both styles.
For different occasion.
Yeah,
different mood.
Exactly. And I don't know, we're getting into the fall, getting cozier. It's like I'm ready to make some ambient music right now.
Yeah. How do you tell us about the sample? Is there inspiration, the muse?
You know the actress Palm Clementif? I can see pronounce it. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I'm not quite sure.
She's a French Korean. She's Korean.
Oh wow.
Yeah, French Korean model and actress. She plays Mantis in Guardians of the Galaxy. You know? You see Guardians? Yeah, Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see it. Yeah, but
Okay, doesn't matter.
alright.
Doesn't matter. She's a model and actress, and she did a perfume commercial, perfume ad for, I don't know, some luxury brand. I don't remember the brand, not the word. But I stumbled into the ad on Instagram,
Yeah.
and like a long time ago, years and years and years ago, and I was like, that is really beautiful, because like she's saying those things, like love, beauty, and like she's, and like the ad had this very like vintage flair to it, and so I saw the ad, and I thought it was beautiful, and so I saved it to my Instagram collection. So I don't know, I was recording some of like ambient samples off my organelle. There's a lot of good like synth sounds in this, so just recording samples off of this into my sampler, and then I just remembered that I had that ad saved somewhere in my Instagram, and so I pulled it up and just recorded it like off my phone, like into the mic, into the sampler, and chopped it up, and it just like, I don't know, just the words she's saying just like felt appropriate for the occasion.
Yeah. I really like, you're just so positive and joyful, and you're like super into your own music, like while you're performing, just full on living in the moment, and that's like a very rare quality. And also like moving on from your trauma and turning into something more positive, or, I mean, like beautiful and full of love. I mean, this is talking about love, but then it's coming from a past lost love. Tell us about your ethos and like philosophy, and I see that Rick Rubin book. Right there.
Wait, before I answer that big question,
Yeah.
like this Rick Rubin book, if you haven't read this book, read this fucking book. Like this is like the best book that like unpacks like creativity, and it's just like 78 chapters, like they're all super short, just like small essays that Rick Rubin wrote about various different creative concepts that kind of unpack his creative philosophy. It's been very inspiring. Through reading this book, like, that's kind of how I've started like reorienting my life to be in service of art and community, and those kind of being like, that's like my focus right now.
Yeah.
Because those things just like fill my cup. Those are the things I just fucking love, art and community. Anyways, I don't know what I was saying. You gotta talk about the Rick Rubin book.
Yeah, I see that.
No.
Yeah, it's a good plug.
Well, that is, I guess, like kind of part of like my
Yeah.
ethos. How do I answer that question though? Like, what are my ethos? feel like the 2023 really just changed like my whole outlook on life.
How so?
I just through a series of events just became more engaged with community and the people around me, and I started like going to clubs and dancing. That's really dancing has completely changed my life.
Yeah.
Just like the act of dancing has just like made me a more positive, like full person.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I mean, we met on the dance floor. We mentioned about
Yeah,
dancing,
right,
and it
right.
was your dancing. I was like, I've never seen an Asian boy dancing like this.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I was just like, oh wow.
That's really
Gotta talk
funny.
to this guy because that's unique.
Wow.
I don't see it, and then I don't see that very often. You know, and then like you're just so enjoying yourself, full of passion and that energy.
Yeah.
That gives off, and then you did talk about like your upbringing, and then now to see you like embracing your heritage, but in a, I don't know, it's like a transcendental way. That's pretty dope.
Wow, I appreciate you saying
Yeah.
that. That means a lot.
What do you mean by dancing changing your life? Like how so? I mean, music is.
Well, obviously it influenced my music in a big way, but also it just like, it got me closer to people. And I think by going to the coffee club or going to underground Portland raves or whatever else is going on, it just got me closer to both music and people simultaneously. And I think just at the core of my being, that's what fills my soul. And so just by doing that constantly and just like engaging more with the people and the things that are happening around me, it just like my cup has just been full.
Yeah.
And
Flow.
at this point it's overflowing, like, which feels really, really good.
You gotta turn them into art.
Yeah, well, and I feel like too, like when I got divorced, it was like, you know, the only thing you can do is just like, it's a growth opportunity and just like embrace it and just like, you know, make change in your life. And so that just kind of led me to just exploring more things around me, you know, around my immediate vicinity, and it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
That's good.
you know, that question has my mind going in so many different directions, but like ultimately, like, yeah, just my proximity to art, my proximity to community and to people, I think has just like, in many ways.
You mentioned about community a few times. Where can we find the community? Where can we find you? In what community?
When I say community, I just mean that like loosely in terms of just like, you know, the people around me, right? And there are like specific pockets, like the Portland beat scene, or like the people I like go to raves with, and like you guys, like the Asian art community, and all these different things. But just like the larger community is like really what I'm referring to. Just like no specific thing, but just like everyone, you know, just all the people around, like, I don't know, from the baristas I see at Fresh Pot to like my homies that I go dance and do drugs with, you know, like, and it's all your community. What's your question?
No, it's more like a plug. It was like, oh, where can we find you? Your next show. Do you have any upcoming show?
That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
November 19th.
Okay.
I don't know where it is, but I know it's like a sound bath, pole dancing event.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's going to be a harpist, there's going to be a piano player, and it's going to be quadraphonic sound, and there's going to be pole dancing, and I'm playing an opening ambient set, and I'm also playing the intermissions too.
That is so dope.
With my friend Amy will be playing with me too.
Okay.
So it'll be an ambient. Actually, yeah, my next gig is an ambient gig actually, which is cool.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, then update people, where is that? And then we'll come see
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Well, okay, the best thing on Instagram is the easiest way to like follow.
Yeah.
Okay, honestly, like fuck Instagram, but I also love Instagram. Instagram is so fun.
Yeah, I mean, like, you literally, I get gigs from Instagram. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get to see it. It's basically modern day poster.
Well, yeah, no, I get, yeah, totally, and like for an artist, like, it's pretty essential too. Like honestly.
Yeah.
So Instagram is gonna be the best way to like follow what I'm doing next. At _Limanjaya.
Cool. Do you want to say it to one?
At _Limanjaya.
Awesome.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the episode between Kevin, Carissa, and Joshua Limanjaya Lim. You can stay up to date with everything Limanjaya through the links in the description of this episode. If you're in the Portland area, keep an eye out for chances to see Joshua play live through his Instagram at _Limanjaya. My name is Ava and I am a new Augury intern for the Augury House Radio. You'll hear more from me soon in the outro of our episodes, which will air bi-weekly. See you next time.